Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Post Movie Podcast. I'm Steve Head.
I'm John Black.
And on this episode, we're just going to talk about shit. I don't know what we're going to talk about.
But we can talk about the yin and yang of being a movie reviewer, where in a single day, you can see a fantastic movie.
I was just thinking about
and
this.
then an absolute piece of shit.
This is we saw the best and the worst
in one day
of the year.
Yep.
Possibly on the same day.
Yeah.
At least in our top fives.
Or bottom fives.
Or the top and bottom fives. Okay, so we saw, what was it, Tuesday? Was that Tuesday?
Tuesday, Wednesday,
Tuesday.
whatever.
We saw The Artist, which I loved every second of that film.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how much I loved that. I cannot throw all my expressiveness from my body into the microphone and through the speakers.
Into your headphones.
Into your headphones, man.
Yeah, and I mean, well, I'm sure we'll talk about it later when it comes out, but it is an amazing, amazing silent movie.
And it just taught me, I'm going through this thing right now where I'm having just seen West Side Story, which is playing at the Coolidge on Monday. I don't know if we'll get this published on time, but and it's I'm kind of I'll just say it. I'm learning a bit about how to tell a story, or how a story is told through just without dialogue, through just the motion of the bodies, and the action on screen, or basically what the actor is doing, and that's basically what the artist is all about. The expressiveness of these performers is just
it's pretty amazing.
Wonderful stuff.
And then, so we have a little break. That's the 2:00 screening. We have a break. We're all in this after-movie glow. I've never seen critics happier to walking out of a screening in my life. But we know that the sword of Damocles in the form of Jack and Jill is hanging over our heads.
And it was like, did I want to go see a movie directed by Dennis Dugan?
No.
Again?
No. Do I want to see another piece of shit Adam Sandler movie? No. Especially because, we'd seen such a wonderful surprise, because I knew nothing about The Artist when I went to see it. And then there was just this, dead man walking feeling going to the Commons that night, that it was just going to be awful. And
it was like you had to do it.
Yeah.
For
you, dear
me,
listeners.
I thought I'm already set up to not like this, because I know that what Dennis Dugan has done, has perpetrated, and fucking hell, I had to know what I'm talking about. I thought, okay, maybe I'll laugh once or twice.
Yeah, like Pacino's in it. How bad can it be? This is more embarrassing than when De Niro does the Fokker
What he
movies.
says about the Dunkin' Donuts commercial in that movie actually applies to him in the whole movie.
Burn it!
Should never be seen.
Burn it!
Fucking hell, man. It's just such a egotistical, lazy, just... everything that I said about grown-ups earlier this year applies to Jack and Jill. Again,
times two,
and possibly worse.
Times two, because there's two Adam in the movie. Adam Sandler plays his own twin sister, and let's just we're working up a froth here. Let's just rip it. It's a movie.
I didn't even want to start off talking about this movie because like all these horrible things are billowing in my head, and I don't know how to.
You've got to get them out. You've got to get it out. It's Adam Sandler is a successful L.A. ad man.
Yeah, okay. He lives sort of like each of the characters he does, except for maybe, Billy Madison was rich, right?
Oh, yeah, Billy Madison was really rich.
So he lives in this...
Only Happy Gilmore was a working
Adam
class
Sandler
guy.
lives in a world that, not unlike his own, which is populated by the objects of the things he loved, populated by his success.
Right.
And yet he's just this dour, sarcastic individual at the middle of it. And he's the kind of guy that buys a mansion and puts a fucking air hockey table in the living room.
Because he can.
Because he can.
It's probably filmed in his house.
And expects that everyone is supposed to be normal, the associated normal like him,
right.
in a way.
And so it's the holidays. His sister, Jill, comes to visit from the Bronx for Thanksgiving. And right away, she is an absolute monster. She is, and I mean that in every negative connotation. She's of course she's Sandler because she's an ugly woman, but she's also shrill and annoying and clingy.
Wall-to-wall broad humor.
Oh,
that is just designed to make the lowest common denominator. You know, and it's just fucking insane. Just just to entertain.
Sandler. These are only there to entertain Sandler, because there are scenes in this movie where
if this is representative of the way he grew up, then fucking I don't want to.
I don't think there's this.
But you were saying,
there's just this thing that there'll be scenes there where Jill is doing something stupid or saying something stupid, and Jack is behind her laughing like it's the funniest thing in the world. Like he can't stay in character long enough because it's so funny what she's doing. It's awful. And then so they
But I think it's even. I think it's awful in perhaps a way that you didn't even know that it was awful. I think it's awful because he's got these other people that he populates the movie with, and they fucking think that if they just stand them in front of a camera, just like Kevin Smith when he was still learning how to make movies and being able to make them, you place people in front of a camera and you think because of how you've cast them or what little effort you put into casting into the film that they're going to be funny. So it's like it's like you're seeing the script as you're listening to his wife and kids have a conversation with him. I mean, and the setup is that that they're going to be saying something funny, but when the kid says something like the jacket you're going to be wearing in hell or something like that, it's the lamest delivery, and it's not just once; it's 10 times, it's 20 times. He just sticking people in front of a camera and thinking they're going to be funny.
Well, the fact that he's married to Katie Holmes and they've adopted a baby from India, just so they can do racist jokes about Indians.
And he makes the point off the bat that you can't say bad things if you're not Jewish. You can't say something. So
and then
he gets Nick Swarsden
into
his assistant into a trap.
Right. Say something,
annoying,
so you can do the anti-Semitic jokes because I'm there to tell you it's wrong. You can tell jokes about how ugly my sister is because I'm there to tell you it's wrong.
This movie was just overly insulting from the first frame to the fucking end of the credits when they bring out the twins, and after all the bullshit that they've given you for 90 minutes about the problems of being a twin, then they think that they're going to make it up to you by having real twins talk during the credits about how awesome it is to be a twin.
Yeah.
And it's pandering bullshit.
And I wasn't even there for that. I was like, I'm out of here. Because I just seen Al Pacino do a rap commercial for a Dunkachinos.
Dennis Dugan and the people that Adam Sandler's company made, they think that they can like press a button and play some music, and that's going to like make you feel everybody go or get really angry, or there's the bad guy, or it's just like they think they can turn it on and off.
You're crushing the sound levels. You're crushing the sound levels, Steve. You're getting too excited.
It's
they're shitty.
It bothers me. It really does. I mean, and that so many people there thought that this was fine filmmaking, entertainment at its best.
I don't know. I mean, there was more laughter than I thought it was. But even on the way out, the people who were probably laughing were like, "That really, that was a stinky movie." I laughed a couple times. I might be laughed once or twice.
It's a badly made film.
Yep.
And it's arrogant, conceited, egotistical. It's really all about how awesome, how connected Adam Sandler is with you.
With me?
He's not a displaced Hollywood guy. He's down with you, John. He's down with all of us. He knows what it's like
because
to be
he wears those fucking
T-shirts. If you're a middle class schmo,
because he wears those. He's got a different T-shirt in every scene.
I'm so annoyed by every fucking T-shirt that guy wears, and it's just the art of the T-shirt.
There's become this almost this factory feeling about Adam Sandler movies where he has all his friends do cameos. Yeah. He wears the T-shirts. They always have music from the 80s, like Asia or Styx or some, thing like that.
And he assumes that we think he's the king of comedy.
Oh, my God. He stopped being funny decades ago.
Oh, my God.
I wish
and as long as he's make money, we're going to keep getting him. It's a factory.
Yeah, it is. It's the Dennis Dugan crap factory.
Basically.
Basically. I mean, and why do we need to see David Spade in drag?
I don't know.
Why do we need to see?
Why does Dana unfunny?
Why does Dana Carvey have to do a 2-second cameo in the beginning?
It's hard. It's hard to watch a movie where people think they're funny, and it's not. And it's even more astonishing that Adam Sandler is able to use his influence to get people to appear in his films. He has Johnny Depp in an extended cameo.
Yeah.
Playing Johnny Depp, I think wearing a Justin Bieber fan shirt, watching the
Lakers game.
The Lakers game with Al Pacino. And the fact that it's really not funny is just fucking annoying. And I think here's a guy, Adam Sandler, and I've said this before about him, he's got all the opportunity in the world. He has all the tools that filmmakers would die for to make a movie and be connected. You know, he's got all of these tools at his disposal, and he slovenly uses all of these opportunities.
Maybe
and I don't think I'm expressing myself correctly.
No, but I think
it's like he can casually do stuff. It seems to me he can casually do things that other people are trying their whole lives to try and accomplish, and he can just like make this stuff happen and deliver crap.
In a way, he's earned it. You know,
I guess he's earned it.
But at the same
he's
time,
earned
maybe
a degree
this is,
from Harvard for this bullshit.
But maybe this is the best he can do. That's the sad part to me. Is maybe he's just either tapped out funny wise, or he's doing the same retarded stuff he's done for decades. He might just have hit a wall. This is the best he can do.
I mean,
and I don't think teaming with Dennis Dugan is any fucking help for his career.
Well, Dennis Dugan is a hack. He's a tool. You know, I mean, I think he as an actor, he's done a couple of things that I did. I liked Dennis Dugan as an actor in The Howling. You know, when he attempts to save Dee Wallace, you know, he's kind of the guy that comes in towards the end with the silver bullets to try to save the day. He was a character actor on TV. He was like, what did he do? He did Love American Style.
Yeah,
American Style.
Truer than the red, white, and blue. Who? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I can hear that. I can hear the off buttons. The off buttons are being turned right now. People
and you. And then he did Police Story, The Waltons. He was on The Waltons.
He's been around for decades. But the thing is, he's not a director of comedy. He's in charge of the Adam Sandler factory that keeps cranking out the same shit.
Yeah.
The same way that you'll see, the only thing that makes this one different than the last few Adam Sandler movies is there wasn't a Rob Schneider cameo. There's some other guy as the gardener.
How did he convince Al Pacino to do this? It had to be the money. Johnny Depp. I mean, does Johnny Depp need more money?
He does.
I mean,
I was talking.
You can tell in the scenes that Johnny Depp and Al Pacino were in. It's a controlled filming environment where there's just a couple of rows behind them, and they fabricate the side of the court for the basketball thing. So it's like this controlled environment cameo that Johnny Depp gets to be in.
Well, it's I was talking to Dan Campbell, fellow reviewer, about this. Who's hated Adam Sandler from I think day one.
Thank you.
And he was saying that he compared it to Charles Lawton, appearing as Captain Kidd in an Abbott and Costello film, and that Charles Lawton was a serious actor, and that he did it because he wanted to try his hand at low comedy. And Abbott and Costello were the best at that kind of comedy. So if Pacino as an actor wants to try low comedy and he thinks this is the best way to do it, I don't buy it.
Has he ever done anything like this? I mean, he was in the romantic comedy, what was that, Arthur, with the kids in the early 80s. He was the...
Arthur?
Arthur,
That was a bomb.
I don't recall.
I don't think he's done... Not as broad as
or
this,
Johnny
obviously.
Depp. Has Johnny Depp ever done a?
I don't know.
Food for thought.
But
just to as an example that I guess they're sort of capable of it. I don't know.
Who knows? Maybe Depp was just walking by one day and said, "Hey, can you help us out?" And he decided to. Who knows?
I just felt that this movie was so insulting to people.
I don't think it cares.
And it doesn't.
No.
It doesn't. It'll probably do very well. His Adam Sandler's sister, Jill, that she is so outlandish, that she is so just gaudy and over the top, and has a couple of moments where she says some, a couple of side comments, before she sits down at the table or before she gets into bed or whatever. She says a couple of funny things, but the comedy is broad and at moments just basically disgusting. With all the fart jokes and the poop and the
fart joke in an Adam Sandler movie? You're kidding.
Oh, after she's eaten all those chimichangas,
she's dropping the chimichanga bombs, and that fart scene goes on for so long.
It's not a short joke. It's extended fart scene.
But at the same as crude as the humor can be, the other side of the coin, the heartfelt emotion that they try to milk out of this thing is equally crude.
I'm also kind of insulted by the casualness with which Adam Sandler goes about his career, in the way that he in his other movies and also in this one, and by other movies I mean what was the one he made with Judd Apatow, and then also in Grown Ups, where he seems to he's gotten to a point. His characters of course in real life I guess he's gotten to a point where he can be lazy about stuff, but his characters in the movie are they're focused on the work, but at the same time he's got just like no matter he has this sort of impression that like whatever he does it's going to make a lot of money and it's going to be big, and he's just like blasé about it, blasé and mean at the same time,
right?
Mean to the other people around him. It's fucking infuriating. He's
got to hit the wall sooner or later. Eddie Murphy was the same way. Everything he touched was gold, and then he did Harlem Nights.
Adam Sandler has his audience. He's got his audience.
Yeah, I'm one of them usually.
So I'm just sort of annoyed by the fact that this will do well.
I'm hoping not that well, but he's already shot one in Boston. There's another one in the pipeline. They'll be here every year.
Right.
But I look at the Did you like Punch Drunk Love?
I did. Yeah.
And he did the Love Reign Over Me with Don Cheadle about the 9/11 guy.
I actually haven't seen that.
When he isn't
when
being
he's cast correctly, granted.
When he isn't being a lazy schlub,
yeah,
and just coasting with Dennis in the Dennis Dugan factory, when he pushes himself to do something different, he can be interesting. Mm-hmm. But he hasn't done that in so long. I think the real
Adam Sandler, who's put himself in these movies, has a very limited range of comedy, and yet is he's successful. As if he's like like the king of all that he oversees, and it's just like there's so many more comics out there that are much more talented than him, and yet he's got all this.
Yep.
Fucking whatever. That would be my quote for the poster on this one.
Fucking whatever.
Whatever.
Thought you were
done.
You're overdrawn at the F-bomb account. Remember that?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So let's just leave that.
Just kill it, man. God.
Move on to
the
other movie we're going to talk about.
The Immortals.
Yes.
The Immortal.
Yes.
The Immortal. Unless you want to say something about J. Edgar, which I didn't see.
No, I didn't like it. So we'll just leave it at that. I thought it was just painful. The makeup they use on DiCaprio to make him look old and fat is just hilariously bad.
I think I had asked a couple of the other critics what they thought about it, and they was kind of this idea that, like, God, I hope this is not his last film.
Clint's?
Yes.
Yeah. Mike Morano, another fellow reviewer, said it. He said when it was over, he goes, I love that movie. I was like, really? He goes, that's the best biopic I've seen since Mommy Dearest. So he thinks it's a joke. I don't think it's that bad, but I think there's something old manish about it too, and I think that's because Clint's 82 and still making Clint these. It's got the same piano score. He writes the music. It's the same kind of pacing. It's not very well done. So
wow, man, it's bumming me out because I was looking for. Still want to see it.
Yeah, well, you should. Everyone should see it. You should support Clint even when he stumbles,
and he has stumbled apparently.
Yeah,
damn.
But now the Immortals, on the other hand. I knew nothing about this movie going in.
You didn't get any of the press releases?
Oh,
or
I didn't read any of that stuff. No.
Any character posters?
Couldn't
for
care.
The gods?
No. They look at my physique and they said, you can't be in it. So I was like, fine. But I didn't even know it was rated R. I thought it was going to be a PG-13 sword and sandal flick. and then the body started being ripped apart in 3D, and the guts thrown in your face, and I was like, "What is this?"
Wow.
Hugely entertaining.
The New York Times, the critic for the New York Times basically just said, "This is stupid."
Yep.
You know, I will say that 45 minutes in, I thought it was trying. I was looking at my watch and I was thinking, good God, man, these people have to report to work every day and make this movie. Damn, man, how do people find these sword and sandal, epics? It was boring me. It was trying, but then I was trying to pinpoint the moment. I don't know what happened. It became
People started beating the shit out of
riveting.
each other.
You know what? There were these moments, sort of like, it's from the producers of the 300, and there were some moments where during these battles, I literally was like, holy shit, that was insane.
Greg,
but you got to wait like an hour.
Yeah.
And then you get some seriously insane. It's like this underlying element of really incredible action. It got to be some pretty violent,
right?
But artistically violent.
I don't know if it's artistically or more like video game.
Oh, Tarsem Singh's the director. He's all about
video
the
games,
artistic look of it. I wouldn't say video games, but his style is he has an incredible visual style. He did The Cell, The Fall. He was responsible for some of the effects and direction of The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Mm-hmm. He has this great sense of style that doesn't always hold up like it for me in The Cell. It just, I wouldn't say it was a great film, but it was a beautiful film. This, in its way, is really a beautiful looking movie. It is, John. It is.
Wait,
stylistically, like what if you compared this to what was that 3D fiasco that we saw last year?
Clash of the Titans.
Clash of the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
This is comparatively, just to put it on a level for some people, it's a better film than Clash of the Titans.
Oh yeah,
it's more entertaining. I liked the idea that the gods were very displaced from the humans and that they were only to interfere in the most extreme circumstances.
Right.
And any other violation would result in the death of one of the gods were they to violate that.
And then they violate it right away.
Well, it's the movie kind of lays down the hammer in a big way. It's a very simple plot.
He might pay a lot of attention to the look, but he doesn't really focus on the story too much. It's pretty silly.
Yeah. Well,
but here's the thing: with as well, as strong as the visuals are, because it's in 3D and it's projected the way it is, it's so freaking dark. I'm like squinting through my 3D glasses to try to see shit.
Yeah. Oh,
it was very they
dark.
walk across the salt flats.
That was detrimentally dark. There were some effects going on that you couldn't even see.
Right. They're walking across a desert of salt, and I lift my 3D glasses. I'm like, okay, that looks like a desert. And I put the 3D glasses back on. And it goes, look like a desert at night. And it wasn't nighttime.
I removed the glasses just to get an idea as to what the real color of the film looked like.
Yeah.
Even though it was blurry, I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to see it in 2D.
Right,
so I can actually really see the movie. The 3D.
It would look fine in 2D.
But I think we should tell listeners that we may have seen this incorrectly projected again by
Fenway.
Probably,
but
AMC Fenway 13.
The average public isn't going to know
the Regal
that.
Fenway 13.
Yeah, they're not going to fix it. I mean, I'd be surprised if it didn't look that way every time.
I turned to Ty Burr and Brett after the movie and said, "Was that dark enough for you?" And they laughed. No, not dark enough.
But do you think it was filmed in 3D or post 3D?
It looked post.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if it was filmed in 3D. But I really enjoyed the effects.
Mm-hmm.
I even though you can tell that it's basically painted scenery, it was kind of neat. Although I don't know why they would want to build this city like 300 feet up from the water when you might make it a little easier to get to the boats or something.
Yeah, you have to get to the city by walking along a narrow ledge.
Just the only way in or out.
Yeah, but somehow armies
God
of
forbid
thousands
anything
get
happened
there.
to the ledge.
Like yeah.
But so it's a really simple story. I forget the guy's name.
Theseus,
yes, played by
some male model
who's been cast as Superman.
What?
Man of Steel, Henry Cavill.
He's Superman?
Yeah, he's Superman.
That's awful.
He's Superman.
Theseus.
Opposite God, Russell Crowe is
Not Lex Luthor.
no, Superman's dad.
Russell
Jor-El
Crowe
is
is
Jor-El.
Jor-El.
Yeah, they've been filming it. We're filming it in Chicago this past year.
That just sounds awful.
Well, it's Warner Brothers' Dark Knight-ish reboot of Superman coming to a theater.
Didn't they
near
just
you.
do that a couple years ago with Brendan
Yeah.
whatever and
Yeah, I went to Australia for that. Spent a whole lot of time on the set.
Let it go.
You know?
Let it go.
It proves that you can. It needed a reboot. It needed a reboot quick, I guess.
I guess.
That look of disgust on your face.
Didn't Superman 4 Quest for Peace?
Well,
teach
anyway,
them
we
anything?
got off subject
Yeah.
here.
The Immortals.
Yeah, simple, basic. It's basically kind of a revenge plot in terms of
Theseus.
What Theseus is trying to do. I keep thinking Cavell, and you're like Theseus. But Mickey Rourke as the big bad guy.
Hyperion. It's like I
the
studied
man of
Greek
evil.
history. Yeah.
He is the embodiment of all evil, all the horrible things that men want in the universe.
I think he's just pissed that they make him wear that stupid fucking helmet.
Yeah, he's got like this
Looks like a toothy
scorpion
vagina helmet.
design. Oh,
I did. Yeah, I
Lord,
said it.
man.
I said it. Anyway,
Yeah, and they accentuate his badness with the fact that he loves nuts.
he eats.
acorns.
He's like Brad Pitt in Ocean's 11. He eats throughout this whole thing. He's like, pomegranate. Every time he's eating, he's like eating and spitting.
You know, if there's this thing about gay men liking sword and sandals epics, the whole
You
thing
ever watch
about
Gladiator movies, Steve?
this being a gladiator movie with
They cast. I swear they cast this movie at Chippendales.
Mickey Rourke from the waist up, all muscled and gleaming and loving nuts.
There are scenes where he's all muscles and gleaming, and then there are scenes where he I guess he doesn't know he's on camera because he relaxes and his gut comes out. You're like, really, Mick? Stand up straighter. But they are. This is more male models than actors in this.
Yeah, that's.
Everyone is buff. Everyone's chiseled.
I gotta say though, who was that? Athena, when she had that action moment at the end, that was fucking cool.
The goddess.
Yeah, the goddess of war or whichever. When she had to go down and take out some of those guys who were in the cages.
The Titans.
Yeah, there was some insane moves by her. So the ladies in the audience applauded for that one. Yeah. Hey, so simple. Mickey Rourke kills Theseus's mom, and basically she's been laying there for a couple days because he wasn't able to get back to give her a proper burial from where where she was killed. But he puts together a team of guys that are out to challenge Mickey Rourke, who's out to get the bow. He's looking for the bow.
A team of guys that includes Steven Dorff. What the fuck?
Steven Dorff has lost a lot of weight, looking very buff, and isn't shy about expressing his intentions with the opposite sex.
But you know what? Through it all, he's still Steven Dorff. What the fuck?
Right. And somewhere along the line, they've all learned how to clap their swords to their shields.
Oh, that was the
In
best.
tandem.
It was like watching Knight's Tale.
Well, actually, the movie started when he got this. Basically, there's this like fucking bow and arrow, and whoever has this bow and arrow is
because it's magic.
It's like the fucking Holy Grail. You have the
never
it's
need
like
an arrow.
wielding
You pull it.
power
and
of the arc or something
Yeah.
like that. You can basically take out whatever. It's this bow that
It's like an ancient lightsaber, Steve.
Yeah.
See?
Exactly. Well, thank you for.
Now we got it. Now you're on
helping
track.
me
Now
understand
you're on
it.
track.
Yes.
Yes.
And so somehow Mickey Rourke comes into the possession of this. I fucking missed something. I don't understand how he got.
A dog took it. So out of the blue, there's
Did I,
people
nod
fighting
off or something. Because,
no. This dog.
Theseus takes out 3 guys, who were trying to kill his men from and he takes them out from 500 feet, with 4 arrow shots, boom, 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 and you can see that by the way in the trailer. And then, 5 minutes later, Mickey Rourke's got the thing.
Because
what the fuck?
a dog/hyena picks it up off the floor and runs with it. Who knows where that came from? It makes no sense. But hey, we're talking about a magic bow. You don't need to put arrows in. You just pull the string and it hits everything.
So now Mickey Rourke, thinking he already ruled the world, now he's got the ability to take down the last men of good moral quality, I suppose. And they've barricaded themselves in this place. It's something like Helm's Deep, where there's something like a cathedral of sorts on the top, and Mickey Rourke is able to get his way up there to do away with the guy running the place. So basically, the gods have deemed Theseus, the one man morally and physically capable to defend the humans. We're not going to interfere, but we wish you the best.
But they've also, the head god Zeus, disguised as the wand maker from Harry Potter, John Hurt, disguised as, the old man John Hurt has been training Theseus how to fight since he's been a little kid. Mm-hmm. So they're not interfering directly, but we'll train this guy to fight, and
it leads to actually one hell of a cool last half hour of the film. Where they basically have this sort of Helm's Deep type standoff, where if they can take down this whole fucking Hoover Dam type thing,
right?
Then Mickey Rourke and his cronies will be able to take over the place. But there's like this hallway, at the center of the bottom of this keep, and the few guys that are ready to defend Henry Cavill. Theseus does this Henry V type speech that becomes sort of an MTV music video, boom, 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 with the slapping and the
tickling.
It was very rousing. I was going to run from my seat and just go,
I almost ran from my seat.
Right into the screen.
Give me a Titan to hit. I got to hit something.
There'd just be silhouettes of us on the screen as we'd run through the screen. But anyway, so they're all jazzed up for war, and there's this big confrontation in the middle of the keep, and it was actually pretty cool, especially when Mickey Rourke, what's his character's name, was able to use the bow and arrow to release the Titans.
Right.
And these things are like wraiths,
But that's when it became kind of a video game for me, because those things never look
cool,
real.
Man, when the gods come down.
Yeah, it was cool, but it's also, I don't think it became totally unbelievable too. I mean, it just looked like It was that part of the video game that they show in the commercials that I never get to play because I suck at video games.
There was so much going on. There was a lot that
frantic.
was juxtaposed. There's the action between Mickey Rourke and Theseus, at the top of the keep during their individual battle. There's the battle between the gods and the Titans going on in that room, which I thought was pretty insane. And then there's the battle in the hallway, with the troops. So it's like multiple things going on. It became very busy. I was not digging the film, but I actually kind of like, if I had to give it a star rating, I'd go 2.5 stars.
Yeah.
And then I'd fall over on the positive. I'd say, it was
it's
cool.
entertaining. I agree with the guy from the New York Times that it's stupid, but it's entertaining.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Really, because, Adam Sandler's movie was stupid, not entertaining.
It was so painful.
So... Imagine now I think what we need is Adam Sandler to do a Gladiator movie and we'll be all set. That would be awesome.
It's like I get all welled up with like just
tears?
Go away when I hear Adam Sandler and the type of movies that he's making. It just bothersome, man. But hey, we got some good stuff coming up locally. The Coolidge and Harvard Film Archive have some really good stuff. The Coolidge is doing their midnight movies. Mm-hmm. They've got we had briefly mentioned Flashdance, but that's showing tonight. I know you were going to be in line for that one, John.
Are you kidding? I told you before, it's the first. I remember that movie because it was the first time I ever saw a woman take her bra off without taking her shirt off, and I thought that was the most amazing magic trick ever. But then you get to live with women or date them or something. They do it without any of the music.
Hottest steelworker, man. Hottest steelworker around. Welder.
Remember when
they'll all be waiting in line.
Remember when the controversy came out that it wasn't her it wasn't her butt in the dance scenes?
Yeah. Interestingly enough, the woman who doubled for
butt double
for Jennifer Beals in Flashdance was the choreographer of the Ninja Turtles in the Ninja Rap sequence of.
So you met
Ninja
her?
Turtles 2. The secret
You've seen this?
To see her work. Yeah.
Butt double live.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so,
what else do they got for midnight? Shows I can't go to because
December 2nd and 3rd at midnight at the Coolidge is E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
And do you know?
Did I say that right? Extraterrestrial.
Yeah. Do you
do
you know if it's the
Cheech and Chong's E.T. the Extratesticle?
Do you know if it's the original? Or remember they re-released it when they took out all the guns and gave them walkie-talkies instead?
They did put that in theaters.
Oh yeah, the big re-release.
I don't know.
So stupid.
I think it's a co-sponsored screening with Johnny Cupcakes. I could be wrong. Maybe it's the PC version without the guns.
Yeah, I did. I went on the ET ride at Universal. Pretty bad.
You flew on that bike.
I
You
did.
flew on the bike with ET in the basket.
Yeah, and a guy my size flies alone.
We all
I'll
have
tell
a
you.
picture of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that the picture that's sitting on your desk at home?
No. It's one of those. It's now an anti-drug poster in rehab centers. Do not see what the drugs make you do.
Was this in like 82, 83?
I don't know.
Or whenever they...
I don't know. I just remember Universal. I was riding the movies.
God, man, when I did the Universal Studios tour, my favorite freaking part was going through the Battlestar Galactica thing with the Cylons firing at you. And they had this little Cylon mobile. Uh-huh. Yeah, when they had the Galactica.
My favorite was King Kong. I kept going on that ride over and over again. It just cracked me up.
Yeah, but you did this only a few years ago.
Yeah.
So you did the ET ride a few years ago.
Well, I'd say within the last decade.
God,
yeah.
I did the Battlestar Galactica.
I was
thing
in my late 30s,
70s.
early 40s, maybe, you know, alone at a theme park.
With your Huffy bike.
Yes. I didn't pedal. It was great. Come on.
And then they have the theme playing while you were flying.
Oh,
over the moon?
That's like it's a small world. It's everywhere.
How do they get all these people to fly over the moon on the bike? Is it just like this Ferris wheel of bikes going in front of the moon?
Pretty much. It's kind of like you ever go to a dry cleaner?
No.
You know how they have suits on the dry cleaner rack? It's like that. It's you're like your bike is hanging from an overhead chain, and you get on it, and it just takes you off, and you go through the woods, and you go through the city, and you fly over the town. That song plays the whole fucking time.
Peter Pan's
like you riding the boat at Disney.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Any of those kiddie rides where the kids are aghast and I'm in line without a child. Anyway, so E.T. is there. Yep.
Excuse me, E.T. And then The Fly is coming up next month at the Coolidge for Midnight
The original
show.
or the Jeff Goldblum?
The Jeff Goldblum, David
Freaky ass
Cronenberg,
movie.
16th and 17th midnight at the Coolidge. And they've also got next week the Burlesque Marathon.
Do you ever? I don't know if your cable channel gets a channel called Something Weird.
Yeah.
Something Weird.
Yep.
So is it like that? Like here's some
I don't know. I don't know really anything about. They say that it's 100 acts
on film. This is
by
live,
amazing
right?
divas.
So and these are the funny
Live.
part is these are from probably the 30s and 40s, and they're what they call Zaftig. These women are curvy.
Boston was once a haven for the burlesque scene.
Yep, they still have like 2 or 3 companies. Have you ever been to one, a live burlesque show?
I saw one a couple years ago.
Yeah,
at
Boston Baby
Boston
Dolls.
Underground Film Fest.
Yeah,
the
they're pretty insane.
Yeah. Hey, they've also got the Coolidge. Also has something pretty cool. Screening on the same night at midnight as ET. Screening December 2nd and 3rd is The Creature from the Black Lagoon 3D at the Coolidge at midnight. That I would see.
Why does it have to be midnight?
Freaked me out. That was one of the few things that I've said before. This smog monster scared me as a kid.
Right.
But
right.
really, the Creature from the Black Lagoon just fucked me up.
You didn't just think he was cool?
I just was scared.
Yeah.
Scared.
Huh.
There was this, and there was this other film that they showed at school one time when I was a kid about this guy who got electrified, and so he was like this lightning electrified guy, and I thought that was pretty frightening. But and I don't remember the title of it.
I think it was
like
lightning electrified guy.
But Creature from the Black Lagoon, I always thought it was cool and frightening, and I think Universal's been gearing up for
a remake.
Yes,
with Adam Sandler.
Well, hey, talking about remakes, they're already doing a remake of The Wolfman, which is filming in Romania right now.
Why didn't they just put
It's
one out
Untitled
last year?
Wolfman Project. Yep.
So it's not a sequel. It's not a Benicio del Toro sequel.
No Benicio del Toro, but it is happening.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
They got no.
You got to go back to the well.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure there'll be another Frankenstein soon. I'm sure there's another vamp. Well, we've got another Twilight.
Well, they've done The
coming up.
Mummy. Oh yeah. They've done The Mummy.
Yeah.
I guess they figure Wolfman. So you thought that they did it right. You thought that they were supposed to do it right 2 years ago. But,
yeah. I didn't mind that one.
I think this might be Wolfman as opposed to Wolfman. Man, 2 words.
So this is okay.
Hey, John, there's also some good stuff coming up to Harvard. They've got the Georges Henry Clouzot, the complete Clouzot, coming to Harvard with his pinnacle film, at least in my opinion, is Diabolique, screening on the 17th at the Harvard Film Archive. And then they've also got Blade Runner on November 30th, which is a free screening.
Which cut?
I don't know.
Yeah.
They didn't say. Didn't say. Free screening on November 30th of Blade Runner. And Frederick Reisman, one of our all-time favorite documentarians, is going to be there on December 2nd.
Why is he one of our favorites?
Well, he's got a new film called The Last Letter.
What else has he done that would make him one of my favorites?
What? Titty-cut Follies.
Titty-cut Follies.
La Danse.
I didn't see La Danse.
Boxing Ring.
He's not one of my favorites. I don't even think I've seen any of his movies.
All right. And Wages of Fear.
And I'm going to guess that Titty Cut is not about breasts.
No, it's about a
mental institution. Right? I read the outline because I saw Titty Cut. I was like, I'll go see. Oh, I don't want to see this.
Also, Clouzot's Wages of Fear is
that's a good one.
Yeah, on the 7th.
Didn't they just show some of his movies recently? Didn't we?
Well,
no, that was Chabon. That was another French guy. Chabon.
Oh no.
Who are
you talking about?
There was, a director.
Le Beau Serge.
No, he did. He did. He's a French guy. He did the one about girls in Paris in the 50s, and he did one with whatever.
I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah. What? Did he shut off?
No, Chabrol. Claude Chabrol.
Claude Balls. The Tiger's Revenge by Claude Balls.
So yeah, I've never seen Diabolique on the big screen, so that's a rarity. And, Harvard shows them in 35 millimeter, which
it's a good
is
movie.
Pretty damn cool. And I'm bummed. I was working at Spooky World and missed a number of the films from Sergio Leone. So gonna catch Duck You Sucker tonight, and hopefully Once Upon a Time in the West tomorrow. But missed Once Upon a Time in America. Fucking hell, gotta work,
That's right.
Gotta work.
That's right.
And we could go anywhere. I don't know where we're gonna go with this, but we got stuff on the table.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
I don't even know where to go. I mentioned previously that West Side Story was going to be playing over at the Coolidge, and lo and behold, what arrives in the mail this week is West Side Story 50th anniversary edition. So I have been West Side Storied.
Ew.
Yes. And
like being
most
served?
Impressed. Embarrassed to say that I really hadn't. I mean, I think I'd seen the film before, but not really seen it. I hadn't really seen it. I mean, I had seen it on TV, but wow, what a lesson in a certain type of filmmaking.
The musical, the big screen musical.
Well, it's a lesson in storytelling through movement and dance, and so I'm kind of eager to learn more about that, about how characters, be they actors or dancers, express themselves on screen to be able to tell a story. In other words, could you watch a movie with Dustin Hoffman without the volume and be able to learn from his character just about the way he carries himself?
Is it Straw Dogs?
Yeah, sure. I mean, like a really good actor would be someone who is so involved with their character that they just assume all the movement of that character. And this is, of course, West Side Story is all about movement, and the dancers are just amazing.
Jerome Robbins.
I mean, what else would I need to tell anybody about this movie that they don't already know? But it's just terrific to see in high def on Blu-ray, and then they're showing it over at the Coolidge on Monday. The 14th.
it's just that what was the last musical people remember? Moulin Rouge, Chicago.
Yes, but they're so.
But they're just hyperkinetic.
Hyperkinetic. That's a good way to put it, because I was going to say that Baz Luhrmann's editing is frantic.
Yeah, this camera, in West Side Story, the camera focuses on the dancers. It's like, in Fred Astaire's contract, he had to, when he danced, he always had to be shot full frame.
Yeah.
because he was the dancer. And then, these people actually dance. You can see him working up a sweat. I remember having the...
it's more than that, John. I mean, like, what I've learned, and I've gone over all the material on this disc, and I dig the stories where you really get the background on what's going on, and Jerome Robbins pushed his dance team just insanely to the point where he got fired because it was costing so much money. They fired him 3/4 of the way through the movie while they were working on this one dance sequence, the scene that takes place in the gym.
The Rumble?
But they had, but the movie sort of was on autopilot by itself. Yeah, I mean, it's credited as being directed by Robert Wise and Jerome Robbins, but and Jerome Robbins, of course, did all the dance sequences, and Robert Wise the acting.
Right.
But when he got fired, it was because literally they just could not afford to do all these retakes and put the actors through all this stress. I mean, there was they were really hurting themselves over this. The best example of extreme dedication to a dance sequence is the sequence "Cool," which they perform in the garage. And it's a hell of a thing. It's really.
I used to have the soundtrack
amazing.
as a kid, the soundtrack album.
Yeah.
I thought it was the coolest album.
Well, this they've really they've done a great job with the DVD. They've got new features on here with interviews with Baryshnikov and Leonard Bernstein's daughter, and other current choreographers who basically refer to the film as a real touchstone for them.
Sure.
But what they do is that it's a 3-disc set. The second Blu-ray is it contains the a documentary called A Place for Us, the making of West Side Story, and then there's also West Side Memories, which is they came out with a 40th anniversary DVD, and so you get that DVD's content plus the new content. But what they do in the special features on the first disc of the Blu-ray is they have song-specific commentary by the lyricist Stephen Sondheim, which is very interesting, and then they have. For each of the dance sequences in the film, there's a featurette on the making of that dance sequences. Huh. So you've got like 7 or 8 featurettes basically focused on each of the sequences, behind the scenes stuff. Very neat. The making of the documentary West Side Memories has some great behind the scenes footage of the live, on location stuff that they were doing in New York in 1960, and then just basically like behind the scenes footage in the sense that like you're actually watching the filming of the scenes you see in the movie from another angle, not
right,
just like
right.
stuff going on. But I do highly recommend it, and I am eagerly wanting to watch it again.
Cool.
As it's Sarah, and it's out now. It came out
the 15th.
Or you know what? Actually, I think it comes out
the 15th.
Yeah, this Tuesday.
All right, can we take it to the other end of the spectrum?
Go for it.
Thanks-killing. Which has the tagline "Gobble gobble."
It sounds like an Eli Roth thing.
This is a low budget masterpiece. The movie cost, according to the press release, the movie cost $3,500 to
I thought
make.
you were going to say $35.
No, but if it was $35, every one of those dollars is on the screen. It's about these. It's a killer turkey. There's an Indian,
Nothing mutative here?
No, he's part of a curse. What happens is...
Revenge of the turkey?
Yep. Well, it's an Indian burial ground kind of thing, and this turkey gets up for the insult to his people and kills these teenagers. How he wields the axe, it's never shown. You don't know. There's a scene. There's a scene where
the turkey wields axe.
Yeah,
that's
but you never. The turkey goes into the sheriff's house, kills the sheriff, cuts off his face, and then you don't know how the turkey does this, puts the face on himself, and then goes to answer the door, and the kids think it's the sheriff, even though it's a turkey wearing a dead skin mask. This is
a turkey. We're talking perhaps.
It's a puppet.
2 feet tall.
It's a bad puppet.
Two and a half
it's
feet
like
tall.
it's like a muppet, a leper muppet.
So they think it's like a midget.
No, they think it's a turkey. They don't think at all. These kids just assume that's their dad, even though it's a yeah. It's not. I can't recommend it as a good movie, but I had a hell of a time watching it.
Fair enough.
So, and
it's Killing from who and starring who?
Oh, you want to know who it stars?
Yes.
Here's the cast and crew: Dead Body Guy, Chuck Lamb, a guy named General Bastard, a porn star named Wanda Lust.
There's no 60s or 70s icons?
No.
Making a
on the
return to
cover
the
of
screen?
on the cover of the DVD, it says, it just says boobs in the first 10 seconds. So naturally, I pick it up, and there's like a pilgrim woman running around with her boobs out, and that would be Wanda Lust, porn star of such films as MILF Does a Brother Good. Anyway,
We had a stop and start scenario with this next movie.
yes.
Sent to us by the good people at the asylum. You make such classics as
They do.
Three Musketeers, All for One and Guns for All, starring Heather Heyman's Alan Ritchins, Zinn, and David Chikachi.
I guess.
I don't know. Well, okay, so got a half hour into it, and Sarah was sitting with me, and she was like, "I can't watch any more of this." And I was enjoying it.
I know.
I was enjoying it. I was just this modernized, updated, techie version of the Three Musketeers. It's completely absurd.
Yeah, and it would
but-
be a perfectly good asylum movie if they never mentioned that they would, name D'Artagnan or they were going after the Cardinal or all that stuff they lay around because it's trying to cash in because there was that Three Musketeer movie coming out with Mila Jovovich and all that. So they, it's the asylum's MO.
What I love is on the back. There's quotes. And the first quote is an action-packed thrill ride in the tradition of Mission Impossible and the Bourne trilogy. And the second quote is a modern adaptation of the classic adventure, attributed to no one.
Right. I think that's Stephanie, the secretary at the asylum, who writes those. And what does it mean
Starring,
in the tradition?
The lead female's character is Alexandra D'Artagnan.
Yeah, and she looks like she's trying not to laugh every time she says her name in the movie. But I didn't care. It was silly,
Just
fun.
silly, man.
Silly asylum fun.
Yeah.
Perfectly acceptable.
But you have to say, you got 3/4 of the way through the movie and got a glitch.
Yeah.
So maybe the asylum
Yeah.
can help you out with another one. Or God forbid, spend the $5 and pick it up at Best Buy.
No way. I'm not going to
You know?
do it. Wouldn't pay for it.
No?
No.
John, you're
What?
being hypocritical.
Why?
It's the asylum. It's got to be worse. What?
Huh.
No?
Yeah, I wouldn't pay for it. It'll be on
But we're
Net-
asking, we're recommending this to
I'd
people.
Netflix it. I wouldn't spend actual money on
So
to
in
own a
other
copy.
words, you've actually kind of paid for it because you have Netflix. So you hook it up on
Yeah.
Netflix.
Whatever.
Okay.
All right.
I was just trying to corner you.
You remember last week I was talking about how I'm a new man. I love French movies, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah.
Mhm.
And then I saw this movie called Going Places. From, I don't know where it was from. It doesn't matter. Here's the thing. It's called Going Places, directed by Bertrand Blair, Blier. You know what the French title for this movie was? The Testicles.
Really?
And I don't know why they have to change it.
Les
Couldn't they
Testicles?
no, Les Valses, I don't know, it's French for testicles. Anyway, it's Gerard Depardieu and Patrick Dewar as two scumbags. It's interesting because it's a skinny, young,
Or was it
skinny.
just the balls?
No, I don't know. They said testicles. When you see the trailer, it says testicles, and the trailer is just the different translations to the word testicles.
Okay.
Anyway, so it's Gerard Depardieu, young, thin.
There is that version of
Yeah,
him, believe it or not.
from way back when.
Yes.
So they basically just raise havoc for 90 minutes, but it's so French, that they just raise all this havoc. But they hang outside a woman's prison, and this woman comes out, played by Jean Moreau, and they take her out to eat. And then she's like, could you guys ever screw an old broad like me? And they're like, sure. They take her to bed. They have this, 1970s French threesome. And then she wakes up the
Menage
next...
a trois.
Yeah, that's it, the menage a trois. And she gets up the next morning, takes their gun, puts it inside her vagina, and pulls the trigger. And they find her body with the gun hanging out of her between her legs.
This was made when?
I'm going to say in the 70s. And I was like, and that's the moment I was like, this is why I don't like French movies. I'll never forget seeing it.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is why I don't like French movies. It's
Because
just,
of the fucking depressive bent.
it's just twisted. And
Yeah.
there wasn't an iota of explanation of why these people were doing this stuff. So anyway, I recommend that to see. Go ahead, I dare you.
I think we've seen it. We've seen it in our minds.
Yeah.
What's it called again? The Testicles?
Well, in France it's called The Testicles, and now it's called Going Places.
Oh. I put myself through some more eye strain this week, more 3D, and digged it. The 3D I'm talking about is now I've talked about. I think I talked about Cars 2, which came in on.
I think you talked about Toy
Story.
Story.
Well, I talked about Toy Story 3.
Yeah,
I haven't talked about Toy Story 2, which I don't think I'm going to talk about. But it's because I haven't watched all of the Toy Story 2 in 3D yet. But anyway, so watched Toy Story last night. The reason it's not just a rehash. Yes, you get the classic Toy Story, which has been I want to say boosted, but it's just converted, and it looks good. Not as good as Toy Story 3, but it comes with the things that I watch that you typically don't watch. Were the extras, the features, the stuff about John Lasseter, the stories about artists making it at Pixar, another feature. They have a 7-minute extra feature about Buzz Lightyear's balloon appearing in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade, okay. and then the commentaries and stuff. And I don't know about you, but I dig that stuff. It's a little bit of a eye strain, as I've mentioned before, watching Toy Story in 3D. But god damn if it isn't cool. I mean, I watched this, and I watched also in 3D Meet the Robinsons, which I want to talk about next week because I did watch all the extras on that, and I actually think it's a more fun film. It's one of my favorite 3D films was Meet the Robinsons. It doesn't have the
it's got frogs in it. Remember
yeah,
that?
well, there's something about the creation of Toy Story, and it's the story behind the creation of Toy Story is much more interesting, obviously, than Meet the Robinsons. But I'll discuss that at another time. But anyway, Toy Story's out in 3D Blu-ray with a bunch of new extras on it, and it's pretty cool. I do recommend it, even though it's kind of an eye strain.
Good,
cool. Maybe the younger kids can stand watching.
Come on, you kids!
90 minutes of 3D on it. I mean, I dig it.
Yeah,
I dig it.
It's a good movie. I don't know if it, I don't remember seeing it in 3D. There's this group called the Inception Media that sent me these things. They're these, it's kind of like a Mill Creek-ish kind of thing. Yeah. Where they're public domain movies they repackage and stuff. Yeah. So they sent me 2 things from the Legacy Collection.
And that means
they collected.
I think Legacy Collection. I think of classic Universal monsters, but whatever.
Well, this is the Legacy Collection. Kirk Douglas. And we talked. I mentioned seeing the War Wagon. Yeah,
isn't he?
Yeah, that was sad at the Oscars, huh?
Yeah, he's like 94, 95.
And this has got 5 movies and then some TV programs and stuff. The movies are a mixed bag. They're not it's not Spartacus. You're not going to see Young Man with a Horn or any of his big ones.
Spartacus came up a number of times this week in conversation before and after seeing the Immortals,
right?
As to like what are the great sword and sandal epics, like Ben-Hur and Spartacus. And Sarah asked me, is everything sort of relative to Spartacus, in a way?
Yeah,
not
pretty
so
much
Gladiator, but
I am Spartacus. No, I am Spartacus. So they've got movies like the opposite of Spartacus, My Dear Secretary, Catch Me a Spy. They run from like the 40s to the 70s. They're like, it's like Kirk Douglas doing romantic comedies. It's kind of weird, but interesting stuff. The other Legacy Collection they sent me was for Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Really?
Yeah.
Also in their 90s.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I mean, what is the filmography of Zsa Zsa Gabor?
Oh,
are we talking TV shows here?
Yeah, most of it's TV shows, and there's a couple of like D-grade movies included in it. But still,
she's been such a punchline for so many
years. Yeah, but at the time, back in the 60s, let's say 50s, 60s, and she was a hot young thing. She was like one of those. There were certain celebrities at the time who just appeared on talk shows. They'd be like a Mike Douglas every month, or they didn't really do anything else but do talk shows. Maybe they did a Vegas act. But for people who don't know who
Jack Benny, isn't she on the Jack Benny disc?
No, I'm sure. Yeah, she is. Yeah. So I just think for people who don't know much about Kirk Douglas, it's an interesting package because there's this feature where they compare his career and his son's career, Michael Douglas' career, through movie trailers,
really,
which is kind of interesting. So I would check that out. And the Zsa Zsa Gabor thing's kind of like an acquired taste.
Cool. Cool.
So.
Hey, did you ever see Infernal Affairs, the film that inspired The Departed?
No.
Which The Departed is basically just, the copy of Infernal Affairs.
Uh-huh.
Terrific Hong Kong police thriller from 2002 that Miramax Miramax has just put out on Blu-ray. I haven't watched the extra features on it, but I'm really looking forward to it. But I just wanted to put it out there that the movie is out, and it's got a behind-the-scenes featurette on the film. Really looking forward to this one. Miramax also released The Crow in this past month on Blu-ray.
I guess,
with a ton of extras on it, so looking to check that one out too. Man, I think we're good.
All right.
You can check us out online. We're at post-movie.net, and we're also on Facebook. Nice to be liked there. Hey, last week we were at 551 likes. Now we're at 552.
So that guy came back.
One guy came back. I don't know.
Excellent. Thank you, whoever you are, Mom. Thanks, Mom.
Back up again. And we're also on iTunes. If you can leave a review, that would be awesome. And if you have any issues with what we have said, if you'd like to challenge us or just discuss any of the films that we've talked about, send us an email. We're at contact@post-movie.net. Until next week, I'm Steve Head.
I'm John Black.
So long, everyone.